Use NLP to supersize your business today, or your competition will. Now, that's sort of a strong statement, is a strong statement, but it's absolutely true. Neuro-linguistic programming has 5 key components that can help you build and grow and supersize your business by improving things inside your organization. I'm going to share those 5 components. I'm going to share at least one person's story of applying NLP and how it helped him to create the business that he wanted, as well as the impact it has on our mental health and well-being. We're focusing on mental health and well-being as individuals, but also as an organization. We as an organization can use these same skills and strategies to build and grow and supersize our business. We can use them with our customers. We can use them with the people that we join forces with, our suppliers, our vendors, our shareholders, our partners, etc., to be better communicators, to visualize our goals and practice succeeding, to create anchors that will help us in different situations that are often stressful or that we don't think that we handle very well. It can give us the confidence and the ability to handle them well. We can model successful behaviors of other people, other businesses that have gone before us. Guess what? The chance of you being and doing something absolutely positively different than anyone else in the world has ever done is unlikely. Unless maybe you're Elon Musk, you're probably not at the edge of that window breaking barriers in your industry. Now, I'm going to challenge you to do that, because that's the way to really supersize and be successful, is be the leader in your industry. But if you're not there yet, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, can help you get there. NLP is a methodology. It has 5 core components. I'm going to share all those because I think they should be in all of our toolboxes. Some of them we've already talked about. Some of them I don't think I have talked about yet, but we can go into them more deeply if you want to. Just ask in the comments below or message me. It helps our mental health and well-being by, I'm way ahead of myself today. Reframing negative thought patterns. Anybody in our organization have a negative thought pattern? Do we think the competition is eating our lunch? And if so, we want to get rid of that, right? We want to reframe that idea and throw that out the window and have us be the leader and visualize us being the leader of that. Helps to improve our communication skills, helps us to overcome phobias and anxieties. If we are afraid of public speaking, it'll help us overcome that. It helps us to enhance our confidence, our self-esteem, improve our identity, etc. We're going to talk about identity and ego tomorrow. Helps us to develop emotional intelligence. How many of our organizations could use a little more emotional intelligence these days? A lot, including some of mine. There's certain areas in my organizations that I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe we just did that. And we'll use a little NLP on it today. So NLP helps our mental health and well-being by helps us to identify negative self-talk. That's occurs in our organizations as much, if not more, than it does in our own heads. It helps us to reprogram limiting beliefs and thoughts. It helps us to manage our emotions and reduce anxiety and stress. All good things to make our culture and our business more productive, more positive, a more fun place to come and work, and more successful. So what are these 5 core components of NLP? NLP was developed by 2 gentlemen, Richard Bandler and John Grinder. And I always have to look up their names because I forget. I learned it from Tony Robbins back in the 1980s. I'm not an expert. I am not a certified anything in NLP. I've just had a lot of experience with it, using it on myself and with other people, because these 5 core components are so powerful and they can be used to help us individually and collectively in so many ways. The first one is anchoring. Anchoring is when we take a physical touch or movement to create a feeling or to anchor a feeling that we want to be able to call upon immediately. Whenever I do a presentation or a speech, I have a little routine that I do to boost my energy, and that whole little physical routine is an example of an anchor. If I want to feel awesome immediately, it might be something as simple as touching your thumb to your forefinger. You can do that by your side and nobody is going to see it. That's the cool thing about anchors. You get to create what works for you, and you can build it into something that's pretty natural for you to create an instant feeling of confidence, speaking clearly. I should do that one more often, etc. But you can anchor the feeling you want to feel immediately, so that when you're faced with a triggered situation or a stressful situation, you can use your anchor to trigger you in a positive way to get the result and the feeling that you want immediately. The second one is reframing. We've talked about reframing a little bit. Reframing is when we take something like a limiting belief or a negative belief or an ant. We talked about ants the other day, and we reframe that as a positive. My favorite example of this is failure. So many people are scared to death of failure, but one of the most powerful things I personally did a long, long time ago, I don't remember when I did it now, probably when I first started following Tony Robbins, was to redefine failure. Failure is a stepping stone for me. It's just one little blip on my radar of meaning I'm moving toward what it is that I want faster, because it's a stepping stone. And the faster I climb those stairs, the faster I get what I want. So we just reframe things and redefine them. I just totally redefine things. I did the same thing with frustration. I still get frustrated sometimes, but I just remind myself that my definition of frustration used to be, and is no longer, but it still trips in my head sometimes, when something is and is not exactly how I want it to be. Well, guess what? How many things are ever exactly how we want them to be? Very few. So reframing, visualization, and mental rehearsal. This is the one we talked about a few days ago, and almost every Olympian, every famous athlete, every famous person, speaker, leader uses visualization and mental rehearsal. They practice what they're going to do. I learned this one a long time ago too. I used to be scared to death to give presentations. Most people are afraid of public speaking, and I used visualization and mental rehearsal to prepare myself. And I would mentally practice successfully giving my presentation to 1,000 people in the quality field in my organizations, and it going really well, and people really receiving the message and asking questions and being excited and curious about it. And by visually rehearsing that in my mind, when I went to deliver my presentation, I'd already done it over and over and over again, so it was just easy. The next one is the swish pattern. I've used this one on myself and taught other people to use it as well. It's when we take a situation that triggered us, or a bad situation, and we replace it by making it outrageous and funny. Again, learned this one from Tony Robbins. Thank you, Tony, for all these things he's taught me. He is not trained he went to an NLP training and got so excited about it, he just went out and started using it. He never stayed for the certification part of it. But to me, he's probably the most famous practitioner of NLP. It's built into who he is and how he does everything nowadays. But the swish pattern, really powerful. I used it. I got fired. Yep, I've gotten fired before from a job that I did not deserve to be fired from. And it hit me really hard emotionally. And I used the swish pattern a few times to eliminate that experience, because I didn't want to keep that experience playing over and over and over and over again in my head when I had other stuff going on that was more important. And the fifth component of NLP is rapport building. What human being does not need to be great at building rapport, especially when we're building and growing and building or supersizing our businesses? So those 5 core components, and I'm going to share David's story about how he applied these. I'm going to grab a magnifying glass. David is a 40-year-old entrepreneur who was trapped in a cycle of self-criticism after a failed business. Okay, how many of us have not had a failed business? All of us. Very few people that start a business hit a home run the first time out of the gate, right? Or the business that you thought you were starting changes dramatically by the time you start to be successful, because our first idea isn't necessarily our best idea, right? It's the seed of the idea that gets us taking action in the direction of what it is that we want. So he had a failed business, so he's always beating himself up about it. NLP helped him to use reframing to view a failure as a stepping stone rather than a defining moment. Failure is never final or fatal unless you choose to let it be. He also adopted positive affirmations and used the swish pattern to replace negative imagery with empowering visions. The result was renewed motivation, better mental health, and the courage to launch a successful new venture. Because stuff doesn't always happen the first time. How many people are divorced and remarried? Millions, probably tens of millions. I don't know. I don't know statistics on that. So what are we going to do today? I challenge you to use one of these 5 strategies in your business today, on yourself or with a group of other people. I like to use it with my internal team of managers and leaders in different organizations. key components, key people that are open to improving themselves and improving the impact they have on the organization. Anchor, reframe, visualize and mental rehearsal, switch pattern, or rapport building. Pick one of these. I would say if you got to have something to start with rapport building with your team and your people that you interact with on a daily basis. For personal development and growth, I use reframing and anchoring probably almost every day. I've got lots of anchors set all over myself, and people don't even know that I'm using them, but I use them to be a better me. All right, if I can help you in any way with this, I'd love to know your take on NLP. Have you heard of it? Do you use it? Do you think your competition might be using it if you're not? That's a good question. I don't usually compare myself to other people or the competition, but sometimes it motivates us to do the things we know that we could use in our toolbox to grow even faster, to get results that we want even faster. All right, have an awesome day. I'll be with you tomorrow.